Because he's the commander on the ground, Helen. He's the one who is making sure that the situation is moving.
How many more people we kill?
Helen, I find it really unfortunate that you use your front row position bestowed upon you by your colleagues to make such statements. It is an honor and a privilege to be in the briefing room, and to suggest that we, at the United States, are killing innocent people is just absurd and very offensive.
Do you know how many we have since the start of the war?
How many? We are going after the enemy, Helen, to the extent that any innocent Iraqis have been killed. We have expressed regret for it.
Well, regret, it doesn't bring back a life.
Helen, we are in a war zone, and our military works extremely hard to make sure that everyone has the opportunity for liberty and freedom and democracy, and that is exactly what they're doing. I'm going to move on.
Your reaction?
Well, as somebody who was on the receiving end of her questions in the White House press briefing room for so many years, and somebody that I do have a lot of respect for Helen Thomas and all that she accomplished, especially as a young woman when she first came to Washington, D.C. and worked for $5 a week at some of the papers and worked her way up, and her family really worked hard. But there has always been an edge, especially in the last, I'd say maybe 10 years, where she questions the integrity of American troops, which is fine if it has some sort of legitimate basis. But this attack on Jews is unseemly, unfortunate, and she sits in the front row of the White House press corps, and the White House press corps has control over who sits where.
I was going to ask, you as the press secretary don't decide where people sit?
No, you can get involved if you want to. I think that was not a good idea, so I stayed out of it and let them decide. And it's really based on seniority and how many people read your work or listen to your broadcast or watch your broadcast. And
well, nobody's watching or reading.
No, Helen Thomas has a column that she does now once a week. And the fact that her comments were just so outrageous, and there's hardly been any commentary from her colleagues or, well, Ari Fleischer, who was the first press secretary for President Bush, has said something, but not that many other people had. And if you just imagine...
Well, I think he said she should lose her job.
Well, he did, but other people outside of Ari and I have not really said anything.
Well, do you think she should lose her seat of front?
I think that the White House press corps needs to take a really hard look at what they represent and who they are, and it could be time to let her move on.